Hi, welcome to the Stockinit Zombies. I'm Amy, also known as Janitma.
And I'm Megan, also known as Just Run It, and this is episode 204. How have you been, stranger?
Fine, busy.
Yep. I think that's why we were both series of not unfortunate events, but just events last week between being busy at work and presentations at work and sickness and health and so we took a week off.
Yeah, had to.
Yes. But we're back now and we have things to talk about. Did you have a good Valentine's Day?
Sure, yeah. It was, nothing special was done, I would say. We went and got pie. So we celebrated Pi Day a month early. And
3.141592657.
yeah, that.
I miss. I can't get it after the 7 for some reason. My mind just doesn't.
It's the next holiday. It is Pi Day.
Yeah. We went to, so Dexter had not a poor report card, but he was kind of falling behind because of some of his behavioral stuff at school. And so we asked him to set a goal for him, and we asked him what he wanted his reward to be. And we had just been to IKEA to buy big sister Ellie a desk as her reward for a good report card. And so he wanted a lofted bed desk set, which I did not remember it being as expensive as it ended up being. I had forgotten that things like that, big things like that, can be expensive at IKEA. It's kind of a wardrobe and a shelving set and a bed and a desk all into one, with desk drawers and whatnot. But he had a much improved report card, and he's reading at grade level now and has been working really hard. So we went up to IKEA. It was a cold day. I think a lot of people had that similar idea because on Saturday, because the Mall of America was insane. Like, you couldn't even park in the parking ramp. Like, you had to go to a different one and cross the street, and it was insane, the Mall of America on Saturday. And then, it was 1:30. It was really late to be having lunch, and it was just packed in the cafeteria at IKEA. But we got it. You couldn't pick it up off of the floor. It was one of the ones that they had to assemble all of the boxes in the back and put it on a cart. And so he wheeled it out, and I was like, that's going to be interesting to try to fit in our van with 5 people in it. So we ended up having to take out, because we've got a minivan, we had to take out one of the seats, put down half of the bench in the back, store the seat that we took out behind the half the bench in the back, and then put all of them in and it barely fit width-wise. It was very much van Tetris. Got it in the van. Had a little bit of squawking from the 9-year-old who wasn't getting a lofted bed, about having to be kind of jammed in the back. Went to P.F. Chang's for supper after going to the Mall of America and going, this is insane. We can't be here. So we went to the other mall that's right there. Mallrats was recorded in it.
I don't think that's quite the one, but yes, France Avenue.
Yeah. No, I think that was the mall.
Okay.
Anyway, Corey led us there, that would be a good option. And so we went there and got back kind of late, unpacked the car, and then spent the remainder of the weekend assembling that. I hurt in places that I didn't know could hurt, because it was a lot of putting together. We had to rearrange the room as it currently was to be able to put it in there, and we kind of moved it around several times. My husband kind of had it set up like a dorm room where he would have had a lot of privacy, and I was like, I don't think we need our 6-year-old to be able to view the internet if he ever had a computer in there without us being able to walk in the room and see what he's looking at on the internet. That's just me being a helicopter mom, I guess. But yeah, so that was fun. It's good. He's super happy with it. He's branded it with his name all kinds of places and took a lot of the decor and climbed up and down it probably a bajillion times by now.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun. It's a fun bed. That was my weekend.
Yeah.
That's a lot of work. I'm hoping that, you know, he's gleaming onto this whole reward thing. Yeah, only other thing I could think of, I finished the Yes Please by Amy Poehler. Super great book. I feel like she has a really unique perspective in that she's not young, but she's not old in Hollywood. She's kind of middle-aged Hollywood. Her words, not mine. But the kernel of truth that I took from the book was her stance that she believes that all women should have with each other. When we start feeling like we're putting on our judgy pants, we should say, and this is my new mantra, good for you, but not for me.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Right? Like, you know, that's not a personal choice I would make, but good for you, not for me. And so that's my new mantra. Not that I felt like I was, you know, I'm not that's not in me, I guess. I don't feel like I often am like that. Maybe you could, as my friend, speak otherwise. But I don't see that in myself. But yeah, it was a good book. It was a good book. I'm now listening to Mindy Kaling's,
I could imagine that her books are more entertaining being read by her than just reading them yourself.
I think I've caught the second one. So the first one is everybody getting together without me, and I think I'm listening to the second one, so maybe I'm missing some of the context, but
had something. Oh, the Whole Life Challenge. We're still going, even though like I've been kind of missing on the food front, and I had an offer from Denise to donate a skein of Countess of Lays.
Ooh.
And it's a really beautiful skein. So I put out a captain's post about that. So if you're watching this and you're in there with us, we want you to have 2 perfect days. So don't lose any food points or sleep points or meditation points or whatever it is for 2 days between now and next Tuesday. So if you're not so happy with this week's lifestyle choice, you'll have another one coming up that you can try to be perfect on. I have been slacking in the food department. I will say that the CrossFit is going okay because we're having a test week, and I've gotten several PRs. So I've really,
Isn't that fun?
yeah, I've been feeling good about that.
When you can see progress,
Yeah.
Because like I can do a ton more push-ups than I used to be able to do, right? So like just that in and of itself is kind of like, I'm gonna have Michelle Obama arms before I know it. But
oh, if we could all.
yes, Michelle Obama.
Yeah, I was just doing them was fun and surprising, and my CrossFit friend had an exciting Valentine's Day, got engaged. So
Ooh.
we had a good, fun, like, look at the ring and awesome sauce stuff this morning.
Does she work out with the bling on?
No.
Okay.
No,
I was going to say, I take that off.
I saw it in the locker room
Ah.
before class, and then they were talking about something else, you know, like the coach and her were talking about something else, and I walked over and said, but you haven't seen the ring. They were not talking about the engagement at all. So the other girl goes, shut up! Like, you were telling me about this boring stuff when you got engaged this weekend? So yeah, Darcy's always wanted to play down exciting moments like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was fun. And good on him. It was a giant ring.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what? Well, somebody loves you.
Good for you, but not for me.
Yeah.
I barely, you can see, I take mine off when I get home, and I wouldn't want a huge one. So.
She had nothing to do with picking it out.
Mhm.
It was all a surprise, like a complete surprise. So,
That's fantastic.
And she knows nothing about jewelry or rings. She goes, "Is it big?" Yeah, it seems pretty big, but she has no idea. Like, she probably has no idea how much that size ring costs or anything. So she's oblivious.
Excellent. Perfect recipient.
Yes, yes, beautiful. And then I had another.
It was the Southdale Mall, by the way.
Oh, okay, Southdale. Yeah, that's right.
In the mall.
On France Avenue.
It's by Crate and Barrel, where I got the rug that's in my dining room.
There's a room board on that road too, and I always want to go in there. It's expensive stuff, but it's pretty. I swear I had something else. It'll come to me.
Okay. We can just interject it.
Yeah, somewhere.
We currently have the Persian Dreams KAL going on, which I'm sure Amy will talk about because I see a very pretty FO over there. And we also have the self-striping year long. Have an exciting new sponsor. So Desert Vista Dye Works is going to be the March self-striping sponsor. Not only can you choose any of her colorways, past, present, I don't know that you could choose future, but it would have been fun to say. So if she's got a retired colorway that you absolutely love, she will custom dye it up for you. But then she's also, her generous pants, is going to give a skein, will draw a skein away for every 100 entries up into that point. So if January, 100, some entries, 140 some entries, that's a skein. If, February we get up to 300, that'll be 3 skeins we're going to give away in the month of March, and then anything up and above that would be like mind-blowing amount of generosity there. Not only to custom dye up a colorway for the winter, but then do a skein for every 100 entries. Fantastico.
I might have to enter.
I know, right? I've been knitting a lot of self-striping. What else do we got going on? In reviews, we will talk briefly about, or we'll show off Sunshine Lily Crafts bags that we got with some nice batik fabrics, and then one that we'll be integrating in with other KALs for a giveaway, because she was nice enough to send us the giveaway bag. And then we were both approached to review Fritz Kits, and review is coming on that. Through no fault of theirs, my package has somehow gotten lost in the shuffle. So, and Amy has gotten hers.
I did.
But we're gonna wait to review them together.
Yes.
So, but if you're not familiar, it's Amy. You did a good job of describing it on Instagram, so I'll let you.
So it's like Stitch Fix, which has a stylist based on a survey pick out something that they think you would like. So in knitterly terms, that is yarns, needles, tools, whatever they think from your survey that you would like, and they box it up and they mail it to you. When you open it up, it's clever, cute wrapping. Everything is individually wrapped. It's very cute. And it's Fritz Kits. So Fritz Kits is probably a dog theme because everything had these really glittery dog stickers on it. Very cute.
Her dog is named Fritz.
Yeah, okay. And then, so I unwrap everything. I had mentioned color work and then just bases that weren't standard. And so I got a Fiber Company one that had Masham in it, and mohair, and then forget what the other one was in the base. I don't think it was merino. I think it was another, like,
you said it was Zula, right?
No, those were Fiber Company. And then Zula, that was very nice. I believe that was like a silk merino something else, maybe alpaca. It was very, very nice. But that was a fingering weight skein, and then I had a BFL fingering weight skein from yet another dyer. And then 3 different sets of double points. Said that if they were to send me needles, that double points would be the ones I'd be most interested in, filling in some gaps in my space. I tend to lose like 1 or 2 of a set, and then I don't buy it, and yeah. Then in there, you also get your price sheet. So then it tells you how much each thing is. and then you can decide what do you want to keep. Well, I'm thinking I like the Fiber Company stuff. Right now, that's kind of where I'm leaning. I might keep all 3 of those, and then 1 set of needles. But I'm not, still thinking. And Megan hasn't gotten hers yet. So
and you said that they encouraged you to try out the needles?
Yes, they did. There was a little card in there, like a business card, that said try me, and then if you try them and don't like them, send them back the packaging and everything. Or if you've tried them but you would like a new set, you just needed to X a box on the card and send it back with the old needles, and then they would send you in your next kit the new, like unopened package of needles. I think I'm just going to keep mine. They were in good condition, and I might have been the first person to use them, actually. They were very good condition. And, but they very much want you to try out your tools, for sure, to see if there's something you would like. But then there's also a return shipping label in there as well. So once I've decided, I will put the things that I want to return back into the box, put the shipping label on it, and then send that back to them.
How long do you have to decide? Do they have a time frame?
My kit didn't come with a set time frame on it. But I'm trying to remember if the email correspondence had a set time frame. I believe it was approximately a week. As this is a trial phase, I'm going to try to keep in contact with them with email back and forth, because we're waiting on your kit. I didn't want to send everything back right away. And I wanted to give it more time.
Yeah, no, I was just curious, because then you get charged for what you keep.
Correct. So right now their website is just a informational page, so it just says give me your name and email. That's all it says. And then they contact you with thank you for your interest. Here's the survey if you're still interested. If you send that survey back, then there's another follow-on email. I believe that one asked for my phone number. But I believe that they're going to be building their front-end website infrastructure, and it's just not quite there yet. So we're bleeding edge guinea pigs on this concept. But so far I've been.
They've been super cool about the package being marked as delivered, and it wasn't delivered, and helped fill out the UPS issue form, and they've been super good to work with. Lots of very, very personalized experience, I guess. It's not just I don't know what Stitch Fix is like, but there's a lot of touch points there, I guess, between emails and phone calls and
we definitely have some things that we thought would be interesting to include, and different things that we would probably do. It's all advice. It can be taken or it can be
but all
too
of that
much work,
coming to a future enabling section.
Yes. I didn't bring it today. Megan doesn't have hers, so we're gonna try to keep. Mine might only be what I keep. I might.
And I might have too, because who knows if UPS will actually find where they errantly delivered it, and then she sent another one. So we shall see. We shall see. And then that is all that I wanted to mention in the administrative.
Okay.
Do you have? I know you have an FO, because I see it very lovely sitting over there. An epic, fantastic, gorgeous FO.
Yeah, we'll talk about the Persian Dreams KAL first.
Okay.
So this is my first hexagon that I got done.
1.
And then this is the second one. 2. And we're in February, so 2 is what I got. I might need to reblock them to be more similarly sized. I think that there's a 1/2 inch difference between the two when I put them on top of each other. But
is that one smaller?
This one's bigger. But it could also be an optical illusion. When I'm thinking about it, it's like, you know, the orange is brighter, so it's going pow on the edges and making it look bigger. But I do believe when I stack them, there's just a teensy bit difference.
And what is this yarn? It's nice.
Yeah, it's just the merino, but non-superwash from Knit Picks.
Got it.
So I believe they just call it merino. Gosh, I feel horrible. I didn't, but it's Knit Picks, and it's the basic worsted merino.
It's not pallet.
Right.
Pallet's skinnier?
It's skinnier.
Yep.
So this is the worst.
Okay.
And it is merino. It's not, I believe it's merino.
Yep.
Okay.
I think I've seen it merino non-superwash.
Mm-hmm. It could be a blend. I don't know. It's nice. Yeah. It'll make a great blanket. And then I finished 2 hats. I believe I didn't finish this one yet. So I have my Wonder Wander. This is a generous slouchy hat. Because of my gauge, I knit the small,
Which is not a normal Amy head size.
No, I am a large, usually. So I got a lot of generosity here, and I only knit 2 pattern repeats, and then there's a plus sum in the pattern, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I did the 2 and plus sum, and then did the crown decreases, and it's still very big.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I would reknit it. It doesn't mess up my hair too much because it's generous. So I just have to remember to kind of zhuzh it after I put it on, or otherwise it looks like mushroom head.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not too hard to remember.
Just very striking with the red.
Yes, zhuzh it. And I would like to make a mitts to match, but I'm trying to work on my gauge before then.
This color work gauge is kind of a tricky beast.
It is, I believe so. So I did the recommended needle sizes for this, but I didn't use the to obtain gauge because I thought I knit pretty good, matching usually what people say, like the needle size to the gauge.
Likewise.
But apparently not with my color work. So for the second hat that I knit for my son, I knit the child size, and I only did 1 repeat and a half, and some, before the crown decreases. And this one fits me. Now it's going to be stretched out on me, like the stitches will be stretched out on me, but on him they're not. And this is only 1 and some repeat. So
what was the base?
This one is the DK, and this one is worsted.
Okay.
So that helped a little bit. But again, my gauge must be really loosey-goosey on...
But check out the floats on that one.
Yeah.
So pretty. So pretty.
Yeah. Probably show up better on the red one.
Them some nice floats.
So I don't know. They seem to zoom. I liked it. It was a quick pattern.
I love color work.
Yeah.
Zooming.
And then, I guess what I do differently, this one I went down needle size on the color work portion, left the brim the same, and went down. So only up 1 needle size from the brim instead of 2. And that seemed to work to keep, I don't know. I still had to go down in row gauge. So my row gauge is still off by a bit, I think. But I'll probably get out some stuff later and measure it. And
yeah, I'll have to bring out my hat and can compare the row gauge.
Because again, like I never thought I was that loosey-goosey. I guess I haven't had to test it with a sized pattern.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I did other, like I did, I've done other color work. Didn't seem that off, but maybe they were at a loosier gauge too.
Or perhaps the gauge, I mean, again, gauge is by what the designer puts in the pattern, right? So perhaps my gauge is the abnormal piece in this equation.
Well, I've done very little color work. I mean, if you look at my knitting career, I'm like, probably 4 pieces, 2 sweaters, a couple mitts. Some of my mitts are like fingering weight, so can't compare that. Apples and oranges there. But the Miss Grace Skano kit is finished.
It is stunning, Amy.
Yeah, it was quite the labor, but finally we succeeded. And
Who's this we? Do you have knitting
oh,
elves?
Yeah, I succeeded.
Ah, it's so soft, and I like the stretch, as I tried to say there.
Yes, it's got quite a nice drape and gravity to it. It should stay put when I'm wearing it. I don't know. It's giant, and I love it. And yeah, 4-hole skeins. It's written so you use every last smidge of it. I decided to bind off when I did, and ended up with a ball about this big around, so I'm glad I did when I did. I could have probably gone a little bit more, but no. This, I don't know, it's good. I've been fighting with my friend Sarah about this because she's to the point where she's picking up the stitches, and she started before me, and she was gonna surpass me, and then I said, oh, I should pick that up again. And she's like, damn you. She wanted to be ahead of me the whole time.
Yeah, something lit a fire under you, because the whatever 700 and some stitches around the edging, you flew through that.
It was like 3 days of knitting. It felt like it was, and very little other things were done.
Other than knitting the edging.
Yeah. So, I mean, I should say other knitting. I got other things done, just not
you bathed
knitting
and fed and
yes. I did take care of my family,
okay,
and we did have a fun weekend. I didn't just sit there and knit in my corner going, yep, leave me alone.
I've got this edging. It's very pretty, very striking, the interplay of the colors.
So yeah, that was a Skeino kit. So they're the ones who put together this lovely color combo. I just happened to pick this lovely autumnal brownie color. This was Leslie. But they had brilliant blues. I hear they're making an exclusive interweave kit that's purple, and yeah, they've got plans. So Miss Grace is on their website as one of the many kits that they offer. But Miss Grace itself is a free pattern. So if you got 4 skeins of yarn, 2 of them have to be the same color, I believe, to make the interplay work. So if you have 2 the same and 2 that kind of go with it, you can make this.
You too can make a Miss Grace.
Yeah. And again, it is very modular. So if you get to a certain point and if you think you're going to run out of yarn for the border, you can stop and just do the border. Because it was knitting triangular in starting at one corner, so you could stop whenever you wanted. And then you could freeform the leaves, or whatever you want to call them, these forms. You could freeform do them any way you like. You wouldn't necessarily have to follow the pattern. And like I said, it's a free pattern. So I did appreciate the kit that Skeino did. It was reasonably priced, and
I'm a big fan of that base. It's a pretty base.
And yeah, very, very, very nice. It's like a blankie. So that's all that got done. All that got done.
Okay. I finished my checks and balances, and so I can't remember where I was. I was working on a sleeve last time. I can't remember. Sleeve Island. But this is a merino silk, and I can do my Mr. Rogers here. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. But I would have to have taken something off, right?
Yeah.
And then put something on.
And it's always a cardigan, not a pullover.
A pullover. But I do like my pullovers. This is Webb's Yarn, Valley Yarns, actually. Charlemont, which is a merino silk base. And Dye for Wool, which is another merino silk base. In the Drunken Acorn, Blossom, and I can't remember what the blue is. I think it was teal, because I didn't think of it as a teal. Modifications I made on the pattern. I did not do the steeked neck, nor did I do the mono sleeve with the steek. It seemed kind of silly to me to knit them in the round, steek them, and then put them in the round. That seemed kind of silly. Meanwhile, the neck, I just continued to do the decreases until I liked where the neckline fell, and then did the ribbing. This is a knitting pattern, so it's free. I had a few issues with getting the sleeves to line up. As I mentioned last time, I believe I had re-knit the sleeve multiple times because I was trying to mirror the increases rather than make them asymmetrical. And I was going to try to remember what I was going to say about this. I really like it. It's a nice weight. I have not yet washed it, so I don't think that I don't know whether or not there'll be any bleeding. I just noticed that I caught my stitch on something. The kind of funny and kind of tangential here, but I took the picture of my finished object by myself by using your phone stand, and I had propped it up on the bookcase in there, so it was a nice height. Because if it's a low height, it's not good. Like you just look really like all encompassing, like you're hovering over the phone. And then I used my selfie stick, which I don't really use a lot for selfies, but it has a Bluetooth integration, so the button is just a remote trigger mechanism. But I don't really like A, the angle with which some selfies are taken, and then B, I don't like, what was I going to say about that? The angle with which they're taken, and then the rear facing camera. So or the, forward facing, I guess, when you're looking at a phone. So this was it propped up. I could see where it was going to take the picture, and then I used my foot to tap the selfie stick button. Yeah, and I was like, I felt kind of like I had MacGyvered that moment. Like I was kind of proud of myself. I figured this whole taking my own picture thing out. I don't need a mirror. All I need is a stand, a high vantage point, and a toe to hit the button. It doesn't do a good job focusing, so I ended up having to take quite a few, because normally you kind of tap the screen to tell it where to focus. But other than that, I really like that this is a blue, but sometimes when you look at it really fast, it's a green. And in the process of taking the picture and looking at the photos, I noticed that there was a stitch that was off. So like one of them where the blue had kind of crept over here, and I duplicate stitched over it.
Okay.
And it is now indistinguishable. I fixed it. Well, I mean, not really fixed it. Really fixing it would have been taking back the bind off and dropping down and really fixing it.
No,
but
you fixed it. Duplicate stitch is fixing it.
Yeah. You can't see it anymore. But it's weird, like, when you're really looking at something, all of a sudden it just pops out at you, and then that's the only thing you could see, right? And there's no front and back to this, because there's no shaping that I did. So it could have been that sometimes it was in the front, and I would see it, and other times it would be in the back, and I would be like, oh, I had no error there. I don't know what I was thinking. So, but if you see any other of them, feel free to tell me, and I will duplicate stitch over those. Because I am a duplicate stitcher now. And then I finished this is the Vesper yarn by Knitterly Things. I made some really tall socks for me. Here, I'll do the cardigan moment with my socks. And this is the Static Zing sock, which is a pattern by me, and I have some very pretty mint rain socks that I'm using as like samples. So I have not been wearing them, so I decided to knit up my own. This is Sesame Cha-Cha is the colorway, and it's very bright, and I like the base. It's got a substantial feel. I feel like it's gonna wear really well. It's beefier than the normal base, and it has nylon in it, and I just really like it. I like the way that the colors interplayed. I like how the bottom looks. I like how the toe and the heel look. It's no 35 pairs of socks in a month like those crazy ladies did. in the January sockathon. But I have finished a pair a week. So we are in week 7 of the year, and I have knit 6. So if I finish the current socks on the needles, I will be keeping up. In addition to knitting other things, right?
No, I'm gonna stick with my one of these a month. Like this is conceivably one day's worth of knitting if you have a nice weekend where you're stuck inside, and I give myself a whole month to knit one of them. I think that's what I can commit to. That's the crazy that I want to commit to right now.
The not so crazy that
Yes.
you can commit to. Yeah. Max is just giving me the eyes behind you, Amy. He just wants to be loved.
He's got a lot of purr.
He wants to be loved. So yeah, some socks and this pullover. Very happy with both. I liked the sheen and the so I'm kind of reticent to wash it because I really like the way it currently lays. It's not, sometimes with well, you don't have that issue because you're a very loose colorwork knitter, but sometimes with colorwork knitting you kind of want to block it to make some of the lumpy bumpies, and I'm pretty happy with how this is currently laying. It will eventually need to be washed. And then we shall see how much the silk decides to shed, and hopefully none of the colors
They stay put.
yeah,
We want them to stay put.
please stay put. Yeah, and I like the length too.
Yep.
It's a good length. It's a good length. Sometimes ends up being a little too short on me because I'm a long torsoed gal, and I'll just leave this up.
All right.
Yeah.
So works in progress. I've been working on these socks. So I have gotten past the heel and onto the leg. So that feels like a lot after finishing all of those things. I did not progress at all on this, but I thought I would show it off again.
Remind us of it.
Yeah. Because it is the next thing that I'm going to want to spend some time on. So
Go.
So hopefully this will get a good push and we can get onto the sleeves. I think that's kind of where I want to be. I don't know when we're going to record again. It might be sooner than I can get there, but I do want to make another valiant effort to get, like, I don't know, what's that? A good 6 inches. That would be great. If not more.
Does that have sleeves? It has sleeves.
It does have sleeves. So I want to get to them. Yeah, with 4 skeins of yarn and a lot of positive ease, it should be a lovely, lovely knit. I would like to get to the bottom of it.
Sounds like something a detective would say.
Yes.
Let's get to the bottom of this pullover.
Yes. I would really like to, so I can work on the sleeves. And then the sleeves tend to zoom when you've been working on that huge body the whole time. And then, like I said, with the Wonder Wander, I have plans to do mitts and then a adult size of this color, but in the opposite orientation. So here's my leftovers. I am hoping to get the opposite going in an adult. So hopefully I don't run out. But
That gray goes
seems okay.
green against that orange when they're combined, but then when you hold it up, it's very green. Yeah, green, orange. Yep. So then, the mitts are I love both of them. It's kind of like your kids. You love them both, but, or all 3 of them. You love them all, but the mitts are and it might just be because I've been wearing mine.
Okay.
But, I like the decreases and the thumbs and.
Well, I really want to do those in the red, but like I said, I want to knit one more hat, make sure I've got, my P's and Q's so that if I need to do any mods to get them to fit me, I will know exactly what I need to do to get the mods to fit me. And then, yeah, it's been really fun and fast knit, so hopefully get another hat in the opposite and maybe hopefully, I don't know, my husband and son do not like their picture taken quite as much, so it would be convincing to get a 2 hats worn at the same time picture.
Yeah.
That would, that's the goal.
Do it for Megan.
Yeah. And me. And Instagram, right?
Yeah.
You're an Instagram husband. Be an Instagram husband. Okay, I'm not really an Instagram wife, but he gets the idea when I say that. I think was it SNL had a sketch, or maybe it was Funny or Die. I don't know. There's an Instagram husband video, and it's kind of like a documentary style. They're interviewing the men that have wives that take the fancy Instagram photos. And it's like, oh, cool, you're taking in a picture of your stuff again, okay. Or, he's standing there taking a ton of pictures while she's like jumping past a brick wall. Like, oh, we gotta take, or I always eat my food cold because we gotta get just the right picture of it before we eat. That kind of thing.
I have not seen it, but that would be funny.
Yes, you need to watch it. It's really cute. But my other thing, the reason I'm kind of pushing to get these socks off the needles is because I found a beefy base of stripes in my stash that I can try to do skews.
Is that
it's a
Royal Tenenbaums one?
It's a sport weight, and it is
Life Aquatic.
Very close.
Mm-hmm.
So
I know my nomadic yarns.
Yeah. So Life Aquatic, and I'm very, I'm really excited to work with this. It's sport though, so I want to make sure that. I mean, they might have to be shorter. I don't know. I'm a little nervous about making skews with sport weight, but.
I remember the Highland Handmaids that I made skews out of. They fit you.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't shorten them at all, and I can't remember the yardage on the base.
This is 328.
It's pretty similar.
Okay. So, crossing fingers. I want to make skews, and I want them to fit. So here we go. But
making them match, like if you had to take out a striping sequence, might.
Okay, I'm not worried about the matching. I just want skews.
Just want that off bias.
Yes, I want to
the bias.
I want to overcome the pattern. It got me once. I want to overcome.
You can do it.
Yeah, because I didn't get to do the heel origami stuff.
Yeah, and that will rock your brain. Because the toe in and of itself is kind of like, I can see that. Like, you can try it on and you can be like, okay, this looks wrong. But when you start throwing those stitches off to the side and you're like, where is this going? How can this possibly fit a human foot? Then it's fun. You're making me want to knit some more.
Yeah.
Some more skews.
But that's all I have because I got all that other stuff done. So the sock and the sweater that's what I'm rocking out next.
I decided to, because I had this in my queue for some time, knit and let me see, there's a lot of words in here that I had to look up and try to remember. The Auries, so it's like Aubrey's, but Auries is the name of this pattern. It's by Tweedy Sheep. It's a very, what's the best way to describe it? The pattern, if I had written it up, would have been like probably 7 pages long, and this is like, even with the pretty front page, is only like 5. So I mean, it's very, I think it's in the style of like Elizabeth Zimmerman / like European, like a lot of those, like the olive, right? That's like a 2-page pattern for a whole pullover. So there's a lot of like mentally connecting the dots and figuring out, okay, they want me to do this step until this happens, and making sure that all of the lace and all of the cables line up. So I would say it's not for the novice. It's by Svetlana Volkova. Svetlana Volkova. Tweedy Sheep is much easier for me to say.
Tweedy Sheep.
The base that I chose was something I had gotten years and years ago from Miss Babs. She had her her beginning of the year sale.
Mm.
And it's a BFL DK. Super duper love it. It's really soft, and the yarn, the color is just, again, I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see it, but it just glows. It's so glowy. And it is in the Clematis colorway, which we...
Clematis.
is how she said it. Clematis.
Clematis.
Is how the internet told me to say it. 100% BFL superwashable. 240 yards in a skein. It is hand painted. It is the Northumbria base.
Well, the very first time I saw one of these lovely purple flowering climbing vines, I asked somebody what it was, and they said it was a clematis. So I always think it's a clematis.
But yes, it's very modern and very, but yet like romantic and lacy. So standard raglan, but the raglan has the increases as yarn overs that do not get like knit through the back loop. So you've got like a laciness. The lace then continues down around and meets up in the back to the back panel there. It was really fun to do. It kept me going. Like I couldn't stop knitting it because again, I fed my family and put together IKEA furniture and like I could stop, but it was very addicting because I want to get it to where it's meeting up, and I want to get it to where you start this front panel here where there's stockinette, and it starts to go that way. I did the button bands already because they're just short little button bands. Again, another one of those like, well, you want like 8 to 10 buttons, so that means there should be like, 8 stitches in between the buttonhole. Like, it's not like formulaic at all. It's very like, find your own adventure. How many buttons are you choosing to put on your cardigan? Mm-hmm. And then I don't know if they have it modeled in the picture at all, in the pattern, but they also, a lot of the finished object photos have it so that you wear the lace panel in the front.
Oh, I see.
And so you put in the buttons in the back if you want to. And again, that's the neckline isn't any different, so it's not lower in the front. So you can get away with that. So I'll have to go pick out some buttons, and I'm just finishing up the second sleeve. I did have to modify for my size because the armhole depth was not going to be correct. So I ended up having to continue doing increases so that the yarn overs were visible here well past what my size called for. Again, kind of a gauge issue, right? Like my row gauge was just a little bit shallow. Yep. I was trying to think of, I'm getting more rows per inch, right? Versus less rows per inch. Yeah. And yeah, I just really like it. I'm hoping that some blocking will, I'm seeing that the garter at the bottom is rolling, and then this lace panel kind of makes it lay a little funny. So I'm hoping some blocking will help that. But yes, I'm enjoying that thoroughly, and it's been in my queue for some time. So you were mentioning earlier that you really want to get some of the things in your queue, and yes. I concur. This had been in my queue for some time. I have a lot of DK weight sweater quantities, and just after doing a fingering weight color work pattern, it was nice to have something that was a thicker base and kind of zoom. Some lace, some cables.
Yeah, our weather has been creeping up into the above freezing, and so there's been far less need for my hand knits, at least the way that the family is concerned. So it's been like, I haven't seen my Nanny Swimo sweater get worn since I fixed the neckline.
Oh.
Yeah. So I was thinking like, I should really see if he wants to wear that.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of Jeremy's worn his flax since I fixed it. Yeah, a couple times.
Bike rides.
Yeah, bike rides. And then my next sock that is on the needle is a Partying It Up. I do not believe that I will be getting down. I'm just going to be partying it up. And this is a really nice base, a new to me base. Canon hand dyes. The Amy Lee Show presents, and it's self-striping. It's the Charles Merino sock, and it's just an 80% merino, 20% nylon, but it's got a really nice twist, so it's kind of got some shadows, and it's really soft for an 80/20. Like, if I gave this to just a standard knitter on the street, they might say that there's some cashmere in this. Like, I think it's really soft. It's a really nice base. But yeah, this is Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies, which that movie came out, and so I've been hoarding this. This is actually in my Ravelry stash. I've been kind of complacent in adding things to, I think mostly because it made me realize how much I was getting in. So I haven't been adding, probably for the last year and a half, very regularly.
And you used to be on that.
I did. I'm coming of age as a knitter. I'm finding my way. One of these days I'll get it all out and the embarrassing heap will be photographed and documented for the world. But for now, this was one clear back in the day. I think this might be one of my, have you seen people doing the 16 oldest skeins? This could have been, I like hoarded this.
Okay.
This was very hoard-tastic, and I've given away or gotten rid of some of my really, really old stuff, like from Joann's and whatnot. So, yep. And then instead of doing an afterthought heel on the Partying It Up, which just introduces some chevrons here, I did a Spacious OMG. And I've been knitting that as I walk. I'm trying to get my steps in. We're doing a steps challenge.
That's right.
Yes. So, I'm not competitive at all. And those are my works in progress. I've got a needle adjacent project that I wanted to mention. Actually, I've got two. One of them is kind of a purchase. But I've been watching people do the Bang Out a Sweater, the Stopover by MJ Mucklestone, Mary Jane, out on Instagram, and I could not hold out any longer. It looks like a really fun pattern. It's written for Lobi. And I just happen to have from the Sow's Ear from last year's January thaw. The Sow's Ear is in Verona, Wisconsin. This fancy tiger crafts. It is 100% American Romney, single farm Romney. And I have these three colors. I have a bunch of this one, two of this one of this one.
Looks very similar to colors in the sweater.
And then it calls for a fourth color, but it's only like 2 stitches in the middle of the little kind of, Susan calls them, they look like scooters, like Vespas.
Okay.
So now that's all I can see when I look at it. But the center of the scooters / Vespas / geometric motif is like 2 stitches, and I'll use held double my Gale Woods that I used on my Tiber as the fourth color, and that's in the picture out on Instagram.
Or if you had more of your Icelandic, did you?
I think I used all of that because it ended up being short sleeve. Remember?
Okay.
Because I knit like Snowbird or something. Yeah, I don't have any more of that.
That's big.
It's a big bag, Bubba. But yeah, I'll bang out a sweater. And I'm taking a class with her
So you will.
At Yarnover, and so I'll be able to wear the sweater and be like, hey MJ, how you doing?
That's cool.
Yeah, it kind of attacked me. Like, it was like, well, I'm seeing all these pretty ones on Instagram, and I'm taking a class with her, and I have the perfect yarn.
Rumor has it that an average knitter can get one out in a week. So
Yeah. Let's see.
Or maybe
We shall see.
intermediate to advanced can do it.
Yeah, it's that big yarn, so that's an Aran / worsted. I think mine's worsted, and then the pattern calls for like 10 and a half. I think I'll go down to like 9s maybe. I don't want it to be that airy. Although you with a big, warm, heavy color work sweater like that, you probably do want it to be a little looser gauge, unless you want to sweat. Or wear it outside when it's really, really cold.
Really, really cold.
Yeah.
Your skiing sweater.
And then the other needle adjacent project that's a little bit of enabling is I am test knitting the Nishiki Goo. So I made the socks, And Infinite Twist sent me, she has a new Colorwork base, and they're mittens. So this is the Hexa base, and it's merino, and I really like it. It's super smushy. I think it's like a 6-ply or a 4-ply. I would have to fact check her. I need a fact checker. I really like this base. It's a nicely plied base. The helix is a little more.
It's at least 6.
Yeah,
it's not 4.
Okay, 6-ply. We'll go with 6-ply. Okay, thank you, fact checker. Mm-hmm. And these are my color teal. So I will have some fishy mitts soonly. Cool. Yeah. And then we have some bags, some wonderful bags that got sent to us from Sunshine Lily Crafts. That is on Etsy and Instagram, Sunshine Lily Crafts, and she sent these beautiful. Is batiks the right way to say it? Batiks, like batiks?
I don't know.
I've only ever read it. The pronunciations on that. I got clematis right, and that's all that you're getting this week. So I got a fairly deep and wide zipper.
I got the drawstring.
So pretty, and she nailed the colors. These are totally my green. And then in an upcoming giveaway, we will be having, possibly for your Persian Dreams cowl or the self-striping cowl, this very fun skeins of yarn cheapies. So some of them have labels on them, and some of them are just balls. Super pretty. Yeah.
And there is a prize at the end of February for the Persian Dreams. So I'll re-mention that. Please enter your Persian Dreams Hexies out there. Mm-hmm. It's growing, but I don't know. I want to see it explode.
It was in that pattern was in the like hot right now for a long time.
Yeah, and I feel a little late to the game, but I have a feeling with this KAL
I mean just recently.
Oh, okay.
Like, I was like, well, we're having a KAL with that. I hope all of these people that are buying it and making it hot right now are going to join the KAL.
Yes. Yes. We will persevere. I know a lot of people are having trouble sticking to one a month.
Oh.
They really like to
binge
them, yeah. But that's all right. There are a few of us that are like, nope, it's good to put it down and not have to worry about picking up another one.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of binging, Wordsmith's new challenge. Name for when you watch a series and it's only really good when you can binge watch it. So like, for example, I've binged watched Orphan Black, and it was a great series. I absolutely loved it. And then the last series, I could only watch it one a week. And my brain could not keep up with that show if I couldn't just like immediately watch the next episode. Like, I couldn't remember what had gone on last week. Like, either the plots got a little too intricate, or it's only good for binge watching.
I see what you're saying.
The series.
Yeah.
Or like, if some of the episodes are really up and some, so like I binge watched Girls. And some of the episodes kind of missed for me, and some of them were, a hit and I liked them. And if I couldn't binge watch the next one, then that bad taste would have been left in my mouth, and I don't know if I would have continued to watch the series, right? So I need a word for like a series that's only really good when you can binge watch.
So we've already come up with binge watching.
Yeah, like bingeable. Anyway, wordsmith it. Go.
Okay.
I've set up the bat symbol once again.
Okay. Yes.
I like to have words for things. Okay. We have been busy with ZK stuff, especially you, crazy lady.
I have been thinking, like, we haven't sent our Get Involved note. I have to get everything ready. So the Get Involved note is in draft, and it has everything in there. And as we fill them out, I've been checking them off and harassing Megan, like, we got to do this, we got to decide, pick it.
And I'm working. But yes,
we're both working, but it's just one of those things where it's like, all right, I'm to the point where I need more input from you or somebody else, or we need to finish. We believe we've nailed down the shirts.
Yes.
We've picked. We're happy with them. We just need to get a proof back, and we will be
And the price, and we should be good for those.
I have my excursion. It's going to be a beer tasting. It will be north of $20. So it's probably going to be a little bit more expensive than I'm used to, but we didn't get somebody to sponsor the bus this year, so it's going to be, we're paying for that. So.
And they have really good sodas as well, so
yes.
If you're interested in jumping on the bus.
Oh my gosh, so good. And we will have arranged a small wine tasting, but think sips, not like a beer tasting where you're getting a few ounces of each. This is just a sip comparatively, but it will be there as just another thing that you can experience. They do have, I think I mentioned this last time, it'll be nice out, summer, we hope. So they have, some people call it cornhole. I call it like bags. So
I call it bago.
Bago, yeah. Bags.
Cornhole means something different.
Yeah, I didn't like that, yeah. And then, just outdoorsy games, and they also have, like, little card games, like Cards Against Humanity, and there's, like, this chip bucket where you can ask each other questions. It's kind of fun. And then the Wall of Quince. So we will have Quince & Co. Wall from Darn It Anyway. Oh, that was another thing I was going to mention. I didn't bring it, so quick enabling. Amy and Carly have something called the Makers League. If you've not heard of it, when you order yarn to fulfill a certain pattern in a given month, they're going to send out patches with the yarn. So I bought a hat, so I'm supposed to be getting a hat patch. I was in the second batch, so mine's going to be coming in an envelope later. But super cute idea. I thought I'd give it a try. I thought that
so that's to encourage you to use it right away. So you get the patch when you use it, or you just get it when you get it when you purchase.
Okay. It was so popular that they ran out of patches.
Got it.
And so I am in the second batch of patches, which will be coming shortly.
The Boy Scout / Girl Scout in me, the Boy Scout mom / Girl Scout.
Finish it.
You should have to finish it before you get the patch.
I don't know. Yeah, I suppose, but super cute Makers League.
Logistics.
And I kind of fell into it. It was really, I don't know, I thought about it for a few days and then I pulled the trigger, and I was really happy with the colors that I got. She gives you a few different yarn choices per kit, and I don't know. I'm looking forward to seeing what other kits are going to be part of the Makers League section, but right now there's just the hat that you can go purchase, and you get a bag too that you can put your patches on if you want. Or you can save that bag and put the patches somewhere else, but I'm excited.
Other ZK notables, the KAL is ongoing.
Yes.
So anything that you started this year that is by a designer or with the yarn that is part of our marketplace or part of our designer showcase gets you an entry for each of those. And we recently added Knit Circus to our market, so that's an exciting new addition. They are also going to be a self-striping sponsor, so Jala and Amy will be sending us a very pretty self-striping colorway as a sponsor. Throw that in there. And then, I'll have my 5K as well.
Okay.
As we do. We will be walkers and runners and predictors of results. Anything else?
I just remembered what I was going to mention early on. My kids had decided to start a loom business.
Ooh.
So, not loom, but the little pot holders. They were making a bunch of them, and so now we have an Etsy shop, Silver Shed Kids. So like Grandma, Silver Shed USA, we are Silver Shed Kids. It will be sporadic. It will be as their interests grow and wane on the project. But I'm involving them in all aspects of it. So we actually do sit down at the computer and find out how to ship the label and print the label. And we talk about the cost of the loops and the cost of the shipping and everything down to like, now this is actually what you're making, because all of this stuff is what you paid up front to get to that end price, and how everybody takes a little piece of it, like the PayPal fees and the Etsy fees, and yeah, so they're kind of learning a little bit about commerce, economics, and you know, we've been talking about various ways that we might want to spend our money. Haven't quite picked anything yet, but
Reinvesting in the business?
Yeah, that could be. But we've sold four pop holders. There's one that needs to be photographed, but you know, bedtimes and whatnot. So we're going to photograph those when we get a few more pop holders done and put them up. So, like I said, sporadic shop updates. But again, it's for fun. And it's just to see, you know, show an end-to-end process of a real business and how, you know, complicated it is, and how, you know, what you can eventually make, you know, for the money wise and whatnot. And very interested. I mean, and we spent a good weekend on it as far as like getting the gist of it down, but we only had 6 pot holders to sell. So we sold 4 of them, and we have 2 sitting out there. We readjusted our prices because the small ones sold right away and the bigger ones sit out there. So we had to discuss how much we could take off of the big price, because we obviously didn't price them correctly. And yeah, it was fun. So
Sounds fun.
Good discussion. I recommend it as an exercise. My mom's sister bought our first one, you know, and so even if you just did it for 4 or 5 sales, you could at least get that little economics lesson in there if, you know, you can get Grandma or Aunt Susie to buy one. Well, it's been fun. But anyway, that's what I forgot to mention in the beginning. We also worked on that.
Cool. Yeah, so just lots of ZK stuff coming your way, hopefully shortly. And if you've not already, go out and join those boards. There's lots of people looking for roommates, and general discussion. We'll hopefully get the VKN schedule. It looks like those will be on Thursdays up and going. Lots of ways to get involved. So lots of different models. Again, good for you, not for me type things, where if you just want to show up and you don't want to have to worry about any of this leading up, then, you know, that's fine. Or if you want to be uber involved and have all the excitement leading up to it start in February, then you can do that as well.
Yeah, so yeah, all those things. So hopefully we can get all of this tied together and get that note out. So.
Yeah, we don't like to have a trickle of emails. We like to have kind of the email. It's got all the links and all the costs and all the deadlines and all the everything in one place for you, kind of a one-stop shop.
Yeah, and we had thought about breaking it up, and we decided to hold back and send it all at once. So, all right, bye.
Bye, Ufta.